Acqua di Giò might just be the most recognizable fragrance on the planet. And that is both its greatest achievement and its biggest problem. For decades, this scent has been everywhere, on every teenager, on every man who ever walked into a Boots, on every beach holiday in the late 90s. So when Armani released the Parfum concentration, the question was simple and direct. Can they take something iconic, something almost too familiar, and make it feel genuinely special again? Today we find out, and I'll tell you right now, the answer surprised me. Giorgio Armani launched Acqua di Giò back in 1996. It was inspired by the island of Pantelleria off the coast of Sicily, that raw, sun-baked Mediterranean coastline, salt in the air, rock and sea crashing together. The original EDT captured that beautifully. Clean, aquatic, accessible. It sold in phenomenal numbers, and because of that success, it became a victim of its own ubiquity. Armani is a house that knows luxury. From the runway to the bottle, there is always an elevated sensibility. Never garish, always restrained, always effortlessly Italian. When they created the Parfum version, they weren't just turning up the volume. They went back to Pantelleria in spirit and asked, what if we stripped away the mass-market accessibility and made something more raw, more intense, more volcanic? Because that island isn't just breezy coastline. It has an active volcano, and that's exactly what the Parfum smells like. Something alive beneath the surface. Let's talk about the bottle, because this is where things get genuinely impressive. The original Acqua di Giò bottle is perfectly pleasant. That rounded blue glass, clean lines, nothing offensive. The Parfum bottle is a different object entirely. It's heavier, substantially heavier. The glass is darker, almost a deep charcoal-tinted blue-gray that catches light beautifully. The cap is weighty metal, and when you place it back on the bottle, it closes with that satisfying, solid click that immediately communicates quality. The refillable element is worth noting. In 2024, the refillable format isn't just a sustainability gesture, it's a statement that this is a fragrance worth committing to long-term. The mechanism is clean and intuitive. You're not wrestling with it. And the outer packaging follows suit. Matte, minimal, architectural. This is a fragrance that looks at home on a dressing table you're proud of. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. Right. First spray. And immediately you understand why this is called Parfum and not just another reformulation. The opening is striking. The original Acqua di Giò greets you with that familiar watery ozonic freshness. Pleasant, approachable, a little thin. This opens differently. There's still that recognizable aquatic DNA, that sense of sea air and coast, but now there's something smoky and mineralic underneath it. Something almost volcanic, like warm basalt rock meeting cold ocean spray. The projection on first spray is confident without being aggressive. This isn't the kind of fragrance that clears a room. It's more like something that makes people lean in. Within the first 30 seconds, you get that unmistakable Acqua di Giò character. The green freshness, the cool aquatic quality, but the Parfum concentration gives it a richness, an opacity that the original never had. It's no longer just surface shimmer. There are layers here right from the first moments. Crisp, yes. Clean, absolutely, but with something smoldering behind it. As the fragrance settles over that first hour, this is where it genuinely earns its reputation as an upgrade rather than just a repackage. The heart deepens beautifully. The aquatic qualities soften, and something warmer, almost woody and slightly incense-like, starts to emerge. There's a patchouli influence here that is remarkably well handled. Patchouli can be divisive. It can go earthy and heavy very quickly. Here it's restrained, almost subliminal. It adds darkness without weight. There's also a quality I can only describe as mineral, like the smell of rain on warm stone or the air near a hot spring. It's distinctive. It makes this fragrance feel genuinely unique in the aquatic category, a category that is frankly saturated with pale imitations of the original. This doesn't smell like an imitation of anything. It smells like evolution. What surprised me most in the heart phase was the warmth. The original EDT is a cool fragrance from open to close. The Parfum has genuine warmth in its chest. Not a spicy warmth, not a sweet warmth, but something elemental. It's a tactile quality. This fragrance feels like it belongs on skin. By hour 3 to 4, you are in the dry down, and this is genuinely beautiful. The aquatic freshness has receded now, gracefully, like a tide going out. What remains is a soft, resinous, slightly smoky warmth. The patchouli is more present here, but still tasteful. There's something almost amber-like in the base that makes this incredibly wearable as a skin scent in the later hours. The dry down is where this fragrance stops being recognizably Acqua di Giò and becomes something more personal. It melds with skin chemistry in a way cheaper aquatics never do. By hour 5 or 6, you have this warm, faintly smoky, mineralic trail that sits close to the skin and smells genuinely intimate. This is the part that will make someone lean close to you and ask what you're wearing. Not in the first hour when it's projecting, but in hour 5 when it becomes almost a secret. Let's be honest here because this is important. The original Acqua di Giò EDT had famously average longevity, 4 hours on skin on a good day. The Parfum is a meaningful step up, but it is not a beast mode fragrance. On skin, you're looking at 6 to 8 hours reliably. On clothes, on a sweater or a collar, I've had it go comfortably beyond 10 hours with the character largely intact. Sillage is moderate. This is not a room-filling fragrance. It won't announce you before you walk through a door. It radiates confidently in a close to mid-range. People sitting next to you will catch it. Someone passing closely will notice. But it's not a statement fragrance in the bombastic sense. This is a sophisticated, considered sillage. It's the olfactory equivalent of speaking in a low, confident voice rather than shouting. For an office or a dinner setting, that restraint is a genuine virtue. Season-wise, this excels in spring and summer. The aquatic freshness is perfectly suited to warm weather. But honestly, because of that smoky mineral base, it works better in early autumn than the original ever did. There's a versatility here that the EDT lacked. Occasion. This is genuinely versatile. Smart, casual daytime, dinner, a date. It works beautifully in professional environments because the projection is tasteful. I'd stop short of recommending it for a full formal black tie event. There are richer, more ceremonial choices for that. But for almost everything else in a man's life, this fits. Personality type. This is for someone who cares about quality but doesn't necessarily want to be the most conspicuous person in the room. If you love fragrance as a personal, private pleasure rather than a social performance, this speaks your language. And if you've always loved the original Acqua di Giò but quietly thought it needed to grow up, this is that grown-up version. Age range. I'd say comfortably 25 and upwards. The sophistication of the Parfum concentration pulls it away from the student market that dominated the original. At $1.19 for 100 milliliters, you're paying $1.19 per milliliter. In the context of the Parfum concentration market, that is genuinely reasonable. Comparable high-end parfums from niche houses are regularly hitting $2 to $3 per ml for similar or lesser quality. This is a designer house parfum, but it competes meaningfully above its price bracket. You can pick this up directly at P11. That's P11.com. And the link is in the description below. They stock the full 100 ml refillable spray, and the refillable format genuinely makes the long-term ownership cost lower, which I appreciate. Are there alternatives? If you love this style of fragrance, you might explore Bleu de Chanel Parfum for a slightly woodier take, or Dior Sauvage Parfum if you want more pepper and power. But neither of those captures this specific mineralic, volcanic, aquatic quality. Nothing really does. This is its own thing. My score, 8.5 out of 10. Points off for the moderate longevity on skin and the fact that you do need to respray if you want evening performance after a full day. Points firmly on for character, evolution, versatility, and the sheer quality of the dry down. This is a fragrance that rewards patience and attention. Here's where I land on Acqua di Giò Parfum. If you dismiss this because the original became a cliché, I understand that instinct. I had it too. But the Parfum concentration isn't trading on nostalgia. It's a serious fragrance that happens to share DNA with one of history's best sellers. Strip away the brand recognition, blind test this against niche aquatics at twice the price, and it holds its own. Comfortably. This is the version of Acqua di Giò that makes you fall back in love with the concept. The mineralic darkness, the volcanic warmth, the way it transitions from crisp and fresh to intimate and smoky over the course of a day, it tells a proper olfactory story. And stories are what great fragrances do. If you own this already, I genuinely want to know. Did it change how you feel about the original? And if you're coming to it fresh, drop a comment after you've tried it. Tell me if that dry down got you like it got me. The link to grab this from P11 is in the description. Go try it. Then come back here and tell me I was right.